ready to evacuate. We've got emergency exits located behind third base.
Good evening, everybody, from a nice, pleasant 75-degree day here at Shuttleworth Park in Amsterdam, New York. This is Adam Gresta bringing you Amsterdam Mohawks baseball as the Mohawks look to take on their Eastern Division foe, Glens Dragons, for the third time in 4 games as they played them Tuesday here at Shuttleworth. We're away on the 4th of July in Oneonta. They won that game 6-3, and they ended up heading to Glens Falls last night and beating they actually lost in Oneonta on Wednesday, but they ended up going to Glens Falls on Friday and beating the Dragons to now they beat them 5-4, which puts them down only 4-3 in the season series. This will be the eighth meeting between these two teams tonight, as the Mohawks right now are in first place in the Eastern Division at 15-10. That is in a tie with the 16-11 Saugerty Stallions, who have a lower winning percentage, which puts them down there. That will be changed at least by the end of Tuesday, as the Mohawks and Stallions will finish up one game here and play another one at Shuttleworth Park on Tuesday night. In third place in the Eastern Division is the Albany Dutchmen. They're at 12-11, and they have a doubleheader today against the Oneonta Outlaws. We'll update you on that throughout the day. And the Adirondack Trailblazers and Utica Blue Sox also play a doubleheader today. But then Oneonta is 10-14 in fourth place, 4.5 games back. And then last place is the Glens Falls Dragons visiting the Mohawks tonight at 11-16. They are 5 games back. They've lost 2 games in a row. The Mohawks have won 2 games in a row. So we'll see if the Mohawks will be able to make it 3, as they have begun to turn it around at the plate. They are now hitting .259 as a team, which still is lower than, of course, where Coach Keith Griffin would want it to be. But it is an improvement from earlier in the year, and they are still the best pitching staff in the league, first in team staff ERA and first in opponent batting average. They only give up a .207 clip in batting average and a 3.16 ERA for the entire staff, which leads both in the PGCBL, whereas the Glens Falls Dragons are kind of a polar opposite in the sense that they have the league's worst batting. They only get 4.22 runs per game, and they only hit .226. So, versus their pitching staff has a 3.84 ERA and a .236 batting average. But we will now give you, as the Mohawks are being introduced here at Shuttleworth, we will give you the starting lineups for tonight's game. First, the visiting Dragons. Batting first, the right fielder from Fairfield University, number 1, Dan Ryan. Batting second, the shortstop from the Great Danes of UAlbany, number 15, Nick Kondo. Batting third, the first baseman from Cornell University, number 30, Josh Arndt. Batting cleanup, the catcher from LIU Post, number 40, Anthony Viglica. Batting fifth, the third baseman from Southern New Hampshire College, number 25, Phoenix Hernandez. Batting sixth, playing left field, going to Marist College in the fall, number 28, Brian Hart. Batting seventh, the designated hitter from IMG Academy, headed to Arkansas in the fall, number 3, Andrew Stanley. Batting eighth, the second baseman from Bellarmine College, number 10, Justin Rouse. And batting ninth, the center fielder from Malone University, number 2, Alex Cobb. Pitching for the visiting Dragons will be the Siena College product, as it will be Shane Behringer, a Saratoga Springs native, as we will now have a pause for our national anthem before our game here at Shuttleworth Park. It is also the Grand Slam Browns Ford giveaway here. I'll explain that more after the national anthem. Unique rendition, of the national anthem by Revisions, a barbershop quartet that sings locally here in Amsterdam. As we will now look at the hometown lineup for the Mohawks. Batting first, the center fielder out of St. John's University, number 6, Mike Antico. Batting second, the third baseman from the University of Indiana, number 2, Cole Barr. Batting third, the right fielder from Wake Forest University, number 33, Michael Ludwig. Batting cleanup, the first baseman from the Jaspers of Manhattan College, number 20, Richie Barella. Batting fifth, the catcher from the University of South Florida, number 31, Joe Genord. Batting shortstop out of Marshall University, number 1, Elvis Peralta Jr. Batting seventh, the left fielder from Morehead State College, number 14, Jake Hammond. Batting eighth, the second baseman from Florida Atlantic University, number 9, Richie Nitza. Batting ninth, the designated hitter from Herkimer College, number 17, Ben Rhodes. And on the mound for the Mohawks tonight will be the Wake Forest Demon Deacon Shane Muntz, who has been a two-way battery for the Mohawks this year at both pitcher, catcher, and designated hitter, as he has both pitching and batting numbers. This will be his first start on the mound this season for the Mohawks. He has made 2 previous pitching appearances. He's thrown 4 2/3 innings, given up 6 hits and 4 runs. They're all earned. He's walked 5 and struck out 4. He is 1-0 with a 7.71 ERA. And we'll expect him to be around the 4 to 5 inning range, hopefully, if the start goes well for him. Of course, you still have to throw, and as we see, I'll change the subject here because we see going around the shallow outfield, you first saw the Browns Ford Focus that went first, and then the Browns Ford convertible that's now coming around. I believe that's a Ford Mustang. But not only to plug Browns Ford, but also they are doing an amazing giveaway tonight that, barring any other weird circumstances, if the Mohawks at any time hit a grand slam, there will be a designated person who put their name in and have their name drawn for that inning. So if, let's say, the Mohawks hit a grand slam in the 5th inning, the person who is designated for that inning wins a brand new car from Browns Ford. So I believe it's a 2015 Ford Focus. Don't quote me on that, but either way, it will be a newer model. And either way, I'm sure no one would really argue about winning a new car, as that would be very, very cool. It would be really cool if the Mohawks were able to do that for someone today. Of course, you have to get that situation to happen. The Mohawks have to load the bases. So I will try to bring it up every time that happens, see if we can make some magic happen tonight and get someone in behind the wheel of a Browns Ford vehicle. Also, another great storyline tonight, as we have our first pitch people from Amsterdam Printing, as well as other community events going on this week. Excuse me. But another storyline is Joe Genord, who will start behind the plate tonight and bat fifth. The South Florida Bull currently sits at 62 career RBIs with the Mohawks, which puts him in a tie for second place all time. That is with Josh Gardiner, Gardiner, if people remember him from I believe he was here for the 2010 and 2012 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. And then the first place person is Ed Charlton, who played here in 2012 and 2013. He has 63 all time. So Genord only needs one more. He's at 62, so he just needs to get to 63 to tie Charlton, 64 to beat him. So every time he's up, we'll have that up as a storyline for him to eventually. I mean, we have the Mohawks are currently sitting at 15 and 10, 25 games played. They have another 23 PGCBL games scheduled that they'll at least try to finish slash play. So we will continue to update you on that storyline as we head on. But it looks like all our first pitch people are heading off, and we will have Shane Muntz begin to warm up with Genord behind the plate. Now, I mentioned before at the start of the broadcast that the Dragons and the Mohawks are very familiar with each other because they played each other so often already this season. This is their 8th meeting. I mentioned the Mohawks are currently 3-4 against the Dragons. Their last game last night in Glens Falls went to the Mohawks by a score of 5-4. In that game, the Mohawks scored twice in the top of the first, and that was when Joe Genord picked up his 62nd RBI. Michael Ludwig hit an RBI ground out as Zach Durant had started the 6th inning. He threw the first 5, giving up only 0 runs. But then Brendan Coffey came in on relief, and he ended up giving up 2 runs. That made it 3-2 Mohawks, and they ended up holding on to win 5-4. As that puts the Mohawks at 15 and 10. The Dragons, we mentioned, are in last place at 11 and 16. I'm sure would love to be able to play a team other than the Amsterdam Mohawks right now, as I'm sure they're sick of it, even though they've had success against them, that they would love to be able to get some more action against some even just other teams in the East Division, as that will start happening tomorrow as the Mohawks will head to Sienna Field to play a doubleheader against Albany. They will be on the road Monday before coming back here and playing Saugerties in a delayed doubleheader on Tuesday. That doubleheader will be the resumption of a game in which the Mohawks and Stallions had to suspend in the 4th inning here at Shuttleworth because of rain. That was the same game in which there was a bench-clearing brawl between the Stallions and the Mohawks. So I would certainly say get your tickets for July 10th here at Shuttleworth Park, just because regardless of any other storyline within it, it's going to be great baseball between two teams that really want to beat each other. So not just beat up each other, which is pretty good when people can focus on the baseball, but those games will be certainly entertaining. The Mohawks currently lead that suspended game 4-0 too. So we'll see how that one will end up. And, of course, with the Mohawks and Stallions currently tied for first place, that's also 2 games that will be huge for either team to take. As it looks like our warm-ups are done here, and we will get underway. Point out ahead of time a couple of players who have done well this season against Glens Falls for the Mohawks. Richie Burrell is 10 for 19, hitting .526 with 5 runs scored, 3 RBIs, 4 walks, and only 1 strikeout. While Richie Nitza is hitting .363, 4 for 11 with 3 runs and 2 walks as well. So a couple of guys at the plate who have done well against these pitchers. It will be Shane Behringer out of Siena who will be on the mound here. His stats for the Dragons, he's making his 7th appearance, only 2nd start. He's thrown 16 innings, given up 12 hits and 11 runs, 7 of those earned. He has a 3.93 ERA. But we will have Shane Muntz be pitching to Danny Ryan, and that first pitch is in there for a strike on the inside corner, and we are underway at Shuttleworth Park. Ryan this year on a team that has really struggled at the play is that one is on the inside corner as Ryan had jumped back thinking that would be inside, but it's quickly 0-2. But he has hit .323, 31 for 96. He is tied for the team lead in at-bats with Phoenix Hernandez. And he scored 15 runs. He's walked 16 times and has 16 RBIs. That one is grounded to the second baseman Nitza on to first, and that will be the first out. As Muntz quickly gets ahead 0-2 on Ryan, is able to get him to roll over on one. Nick Kondo will be up next here for the Dragons. The UAlbany Great Dane is 3rd currently on the team. They're actually 2nd out of qualified people for average. He is currently hitting .278 as that pitch is in there for a called strike, and it's 1-1. And the 1-1 here for Muntz, as that off-speed pitch is in there for a called strike, and he's ahead 1-2 now, as Shane Muntz in his brief appearances here for the Mohawks has certainly stressed getting ahead in counts, especially with his power stuff being as big of a guy as he is. He has a very hard fastball that he can throw, and his arm angle coming over the top as that one is cut on and missed, and that will be the 2nd out. But with him coming so far from the top of the mound down towards the plate, it can be a bit intimidating to hitters, and it can be easy sometimes for him to blow it past them, as that'll bring up Josh Arndt out of Cornell University. Arndt swings and misses through that one, and it is 0-1. Josh is hitting .232, 19 for 82 so far with the Dragons. He's walked 16 times and has 10 RBIs, as that one misses outside, evens count 1-1. As the Dragons have struck out a total of 242 times as a team, which is quite high compared to the Mohawks 185, as that one is cut on, or called a strike, excuse me, and it's 1-2. And the 1-2 here for Muntz, as that one is fouled back, and we'll keep it 1-2. But Shane has done a good job early here of getting ahead in the count on his first 3 hitters. As we have a sunny day here, but luckily it's not too hot and humid. It's probably about high to mid 70s. It'll probably dip down into the 60s once the sun goes down, as Muntz steps off, and we'll reset and get another sign. It'll be interesting to see how Muntz pitches with Genord behind the plate, as I believe the 2 times he pitched before, it was with Padre behind the plate, if I'm not mistaken, as that curveball sits high, and it'll be 2-2 now to Arndt. But also, that probably isn't as big of a learning curve as you would think, just because Shane Muntz does also catch, so he knows exactly what his fellow catchers may be thinking, as that one is fouled off of the dugout on the left field side.
Hey fans, you can keep all foul balls here tonight, courtesy of the Capstone Center for Rehabilitation.
And our scoreboard here at Shuttleworth currently is off. I guess it's been having some issues. The goblins that live in it are not helping us out, as that one is fouled right back. Hits the screen covering the grandstand, as Arndt is putting together a solid at-bat here, staying alive. On deck, if Arndt can keep it going, is Anthony Viglica out of LIU Post. 2-2 misses outside, and it runs the count full. Mohawks defense from left to right in the infield goes Colbar, Elvis Peralta Jr., Richie Nitza, and Richie Barella. Barella has moved his average back up to 379. And the off-speed pitch misses low, so Arndt will work himself out a walk here with 2 outs in the top of the first. And it will bring up Viglica.
The catcher from LIU Post, number 40, Anthony Viglica.
Viglica at one point did have to go home for a few days. I believe it was 4 games he missed, where Andrew Stanley stepped in for him at catcher. Stanley is still in the lineup tonight at designated hitter, but Viglica is now back with the team, hitting 191 as a return from last year. That ball is outside. It's 1-0. He's hitting only 9 for 47 in 16 games. He's scored 7 runs. He's hit 3 doubles and has 5 RBIs. Has walked 13 times and has only struck out 8 times as well. So he's putting the ball in play. That one misses inside. It's 2-0. But he just hasn't been able to get bunch the hits together, so to speak. As Muntz is now having some issues finding the strike zone here. The 2-0. That curveball misses inside. Glances off the glove of Joe Janor and gets away, so that'll be a pass ball. As Arndt trots down to second. And the Dragons quickly have a runner in scoring position here in the first, a 2 out. And a 3-0 count here to Viglica. Muntz checks a runner, as that fastball is in there for a called strike, and it will be 3-1. And Joe Janor will go out to talk with Shane Muntz, who I'm sure is frustrated falling behind in the count here after starting the inning well. And we'll reset. Big lead from Arndt at second. Keeping him close is Richie Nitza. The 3-1 is on the outside corner. And it will make it 3-2. On deck is Phoenix Hernandez if Viglica can keep it going. And we got time at the plate. Viglica will step out. As that one will be popped foul, and we'll get a play onto the netting. It'll stay 3-2 to Viglica. As Muntz looks to put him away and get out of this inning early. As that one will miss outside, and Viglica will be on with a walk. Second one of the inning given up by Muntz. And it will bring up Phoenix Hernandez.
The third baseman from Southern New Hampshire, number 25, Phoenix Hernandez.
as Hernandez steps in out of Southern New Hampshire College. That one is fouled right back, and it's quickly 0-1. Phoenix so far is hitting 260 for the Dragons, 25 for 96. Is tied with Dan Ryan for most at-bats on the team. He's played 24 games. Scored 13 runs. He's hit 6 doubles, which is also tied for the team lead, and has 17 RBIs, which leads the team. And he also has 21 strikeouts at the dish. That one will be lined right back up the middle and get through for a base hit. Feeling that is Mike Antico, who will throw home. Coming home will be the runner, Dan Ryan. He will slide in, or excuse me, it's Josh Arndt. And he will slide in safely for the first run of the game. So an RBI single by Phoenix Hernandez will quickly put the Dragons up 1-0, as Hernandez was the hero in the last game here at Shuttleworth Park on Tuesday. He hit a go-ahead grand slam in the 7th. The single moves Viglica down to second, and it will still be runners on first and second here, 2 outs, and Brian Hart stepping into the box. The lefty batter headed to Marist College in the fall. That one is on the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. As Muntz looks in, modest lead at second for Viglica. That one will be ripped through the hole between first and second for a base hit. Fielding that is right fielder Ludwig. It gets under his glove and will roll all the way to the wall. Scoring is Viglica. Behind him is Phoenix Hernandez, and cruising into third on the air by the right fielder Ludwig is Brian Hart, as the Dragons are quickly ahead 3-0 here. As that will be scored a single and an E9 that will allow each runner to move up 2 bases.
Arkansas, number 3, Andrew Stanley.
So a 2-base error there by Michael Ludwig proves costly, as we will now have a mound visit here from Coach Keith Griffin. They'll chat for a bit here, as Muntz started off the inning very well, but has since faltered, giving up 2 singles, and the error by Ludwig proves costly, as it allows an additional 2 runs to score. As probably both of those runs will be unearned, as I don't really think Viglica would have scored as we're trying to determine here if we would call that earned or not. But I would say those 2 runs are unearned. The first run is earned. And that will bring up the designated hitter, Andrew Stanley, headed to the University of Arkansas, the runner-up in the College World Series in the fall, as that one is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. I read a feature on Andrew Stanley from the Post-Star today, the Glens Falls-based newspaper, and they talked about his time at IMG Academy in Florida, as that one has popped up. Richie Barella snags it in foul ground for the 3rd out, but not before the Dragons get 3 runs in the top of the first on 2 hits. An error by Mike Ludwig allows 2 to score, as we will head to the bottom half of the inning with the score. The Glens Falls Dragons 3 and the Amsterdam Mohawks coming to bat. You're listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Shane Behringer will be the starting pitcher for the Glens Dragons as Mike Antico steps up to the plate to lead off the bottom of the first here as the Mohawks are down 3-0 already to the Glens Dragons. I have a couple of stats here on Shane Behringer. First off, his statistics so far with the Dragons this year. This will be his 7th appearance, 2nd start. He's thrown 16 innings, given up 12 hits and 11 runs. As that one is slapped right back up the middle for a base hit, and Antico is already on base here to lead off the bottom half of the first. But he's given up 11 earned runs in 16 innings. 7 earned runs, 11 total in 16 innings. 15 walks. He struck out 16. He's 3-2 with a 3.93 ERA as Cole Barr steps up to the plate out of the University of Indiana. Also, from his college page, as he's from Siena College, as that one misses and it's 1-0 to Barr. We have a couple of other cool, interesting stats. His favorite dream car is a 2006 Acura TL. His favorite sports team is the Atlanta Falcons, as that one is ripped into left for a base hit, and the Mohawks are quickly on first and second here, nobody out. And his favorite website is google.com. This is our starter today for the Dragons, google.com. He redeems himself slightly by his favorite movie is Step Brothers. You know, that's a good flick, definitely. And his biggest fear is chalkboards, so there's that too. But also his stats from Siena this season, he was 0 for 2 as a pitcher. He made 6 appearances through 5 2/3 innings. He had a 17.47 ERA, 15 walks, and 10 strikeouts. The batting average against him was .516. So did not do amazingly well in his appearances at Siena this past season, as that one misses low and away, and it is 1-0. But he is young. I believe he's only a sophomore. As that pitch misses low once again, and Michael Ludwig is now up 2-0 in the count. Ludwig so far this season is hitting .286, 22 for 77 with 11 runs scored for the Mohawks. That one misses way high as Viglika has to snap up and snag that one. 16 RBIs also for Michael Ludwig at the plate. That is second on the team, only behind Joe Genord. And that one will be in there for a called strike, and it's 3-1. As Behringer sets, the lefty now steps off as there's time at the plate. He has, of course, the advantage over Ludwig as Ludwig is also a lefty. On deck is the right-handed hitter, Richie Barella. That 3-1, however, misses, and the bases now will be loaded here in the first inning for Richie Barella, as everyone gets excited for our contestant who was named in as a possibility to win this car if a Grand Slam does happen. We don't have his or her name right now, but it was announced earlier in the game, but now Richie Barella will have a chance here. He came into this game hitting .379, had a good few games this week on the road for the Mohawks. He's hitting now 25 for 66 with 12 runs scored. Takes that one for a ball and is 1-0. Richie also has walked 12 times and struck out 12 times. A couple of the Mohawks, there are some guys who have a lot more walks and strikeouts, or a lot more strikeouts than walks, as that one will be chopped to third. Phoenix Fernandez has to hurry. He can't get the out at first, and that will be an infield single for Richie Barella as Mike Antico comes in to score, and the Mohawks keep the merry-go-round rolling. That infield single gives an RBI for Richie Barella. That is his 10th RBI of the season. He's one of only 3 Mohawks to be in double digits for RBIs, as now we will have a mound visit here between just the infielders and Shane Behringer trying to calm him down. He has yet to get an out this inning, as we now have Joe Genord stepping to the plate. Joe Genord, currently sitting at 62 RBIs for the Mohawks, could break the all-time Mohawks RBI record right here in this at-bat. As that one is low for a ball, and it's 1-0. Genord so far this season, we mentioned he has 17 RBIs, which leads the team, but he's also hitting, as that one is in there for a called strike, 1-1. He's hitting .261, 18 for 69 since his return to the Mohawks. He has 9 runs scored to go with those 17 RBIs. He has 9 walks and struck out 12 times. That one is low, so it's now 2-1 here to Joe Genord. On deck is the left-handed hitting Elvis Peralta Jr. Behringer sets and deals a 2-1. That one is inside, and it is now 3-1. That one almost missed Joe Genord inside. Big hitters count here, as Genord will look for something to drive, maybe win someone a new car. Oh, and a big cut there. That was the grand slam swing, absolutely, as it will now be a full count, 3-2 here. Now, of course, everyone would love to see a grand slam, but if Joe Genord can keep the ball rolling here and get the Mohawks in the lead after one, that would be a very big positive. That one is fouled back as Genord just got under it, and they'll stay 3-2. Joe Genord has hit a grand slam this year, and so has Elvis Peralta Jr., who sits on deck. The 3-2 is flown into center. Coming in was the center fielder Ryan, but he will get back to make the catch. And, excuse me, it was Nate Cobb, actually. So that will score Cole Barr on the sacrifice fly. That will tie Joe Genord for the all-time Mohawks RBI record with 63. So Joe Genord gets the RBI there. The Mohawks are now only down 3-2. And it will bring up Elvis Peralta Jr. now with just runners on first and second. And 1 out. First pitch into Elvis is chopped right back to the pitcher. Behringer goes to second with it, gets the out. They cannot turn 2, but out at second is Barella on the 1-6 putout. And Peralta will reach base on the fielder's choice. He'll bring up Jake Hammond out of Morehead State. Jake started his Mohawks career off pretty well, but he's now hitting .196, 11 for 56 in 17 games played. He has 7 runs, 3 doubles, and 7 RBIs. First pitch into him misses inside, and it's 1-0. If he can keep it going, Richie Nitsa is out on deck. It's Behringer from the stretch, sets and deals. That one will be slapped to the second baseman. Rouse throws on to first for the third out, but not before the Mohawks get 2 runs back on an RBI infield single by Richie Barella and a sacrifice fly by Joe Genord that ties him for the most RBIs by a Mohawk all time. We will continue to update you on that as he continues to get up, but either way, we are now in a 3-2 game. The Dragons up 3-2 over the Mohawks. You're listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Justin Rouse will lead off the top of the second here for the Dragons. Shane Muntz back out there. First pitch in from Muntz is inside for a ball, 1-0. As that one catches the outside corner, evens the count at 1-1. Sun quickly fades here at Shuttleworth as it continues to cover the field, but within the hour it will probably be set. That one misses upside and in, and it is 2-1. It will be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters up in this inning for the Dragons, as they plated 3 in the top half. As that one is caught and missed by Rouse, evens it up at 2-2. And the 2-2 for Muntz is caught and missed, and that will be the first out. As it will bring up the 9-hitter Nate Cobb out of Malone University. Cobb now steps in. The lefty so far this season for the Dragons is hitting 164, 10 for 61. That one is slapped to Elvis Peralta at shortstop. Sells throws on to first, and that will be the second out. So Shane Muntz's second inning, same as the first, 2 quick outs, and we'll see if he can quickly get the third now with Dan Ryan, the leadoff hitter, stepping up to the plate. Ryan grounded out to start the game last inning. And that first pitch is way inside. And they say it hit him. And Muntz is kind of beside himself. I kind of am too. It didn't look like it really hit him at all, actually. But they will now let Dan Ryan take first, as Coach Keith Griffin comes out to talk about it. I think he wants an explanation. It didn't look like it hit him. I thought maybe it grazed his pant leg, which, of course, any part of the uniform counts as the person. As Muntz now out of the stretch sets and deals to Nick Kondo out of UAlbany. That one misses low, and now Joe Genord misses it on a pass ball. It goes all the way back to the backstop. Headed down to second is Dan Ryan. As the Dragons once again get a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Kondo struck out in his first at-bat. He's 0 for 1. Check the runner at second. The 1-0 for Muntz sits high, and it's 2-0. On deck, if he can keep it going, it's Josh Arndt out of Cornell. As Muntz looks for a new sign, he sets and delivers. 2-0 is low, and is now 3-0 here to Kondo, as this second inning might just be identical to the first. As Muntz sets and looks with a 3-0 after getting 2 quick outs. He's starting to lose control as that one misses inside, and Kondo will be on with the walk, and there will be runners on first and second with 2 outs. And Josh Arndt stepping to the plate. Josh Arndt walked and came around to score on an RBI single by Phoenix Hernandez. As Muntz will set and deal from the stretch. I think another thing is that Muntz feels better dealing with no one on base, of course, as that one catches the outside corner. It's 0-1, but mainly because I don't think he enjoys pitching out of the stretch as much. He can't soup up as much power, it seems like, behind his arm. And I think that may just affect his control too, because it's less power going into the pitch. The ball ends up differently when it's crossing the plate, but that one catches the outside corner. He's quickly ahead 0-2. On deck is Anthony Viglica, the catcher, if Arndt can keep it going. And the 0-2 is outside, so it will now be 1-2. Mohawks down 3-2 here. The Glens Falls Dragons have runners on first and second, 2 outs, top of the second inning. Shane Muntz now steps off as he tries to get out of the second without giving up any runs. He will now have a quick conversation with his catcher, Joe Genord, who, if you joined the broadcast late in the top half of the inning, hit a sacrifice fly that gave him his 63rd career RBI, which ties him for first all-time with the Mohawks. That is with Ed Charlton, who played here in 2012 and 2013. So Genord will still have a chance to add to that in his later at-bats, as the 1-2 here for Muntz will be fouled back over the grandstand. And the count will stay the way it is. As Richie had to tie his shoe, so Elvis Peralta comes in to give Muntz some words of encouragement. As there isn't much of a breeze here at Shuttleworth either, of course, in the summer. You don't really seem to see it until a storm is brewing. As that 1-2 is fouled off once again, as Arndt does a good job of spoiling a couple of pitches. This is what he did to draw the first walk of last inning. And it eventually got the Dragons 3 runs, as the Ivy League player shows his patience. Of course, I'm sure he has quite the patience to be able to go to an Ivy League school like Cornell, but also at the plate. Checking around at second, the 1-2 is in the dirt. Joe Genord can't handle that one, as he is upset with himself, as he's already given up. That one, I would say, is in the dirt, so it's a wild pitch, but he also gave up 2 passed balls earlier in the game, as that will allow the runners to move down to second and third. As it will be 2-2 to Arndt. And 2-2 is caught and missed. Flailed at. Nice pitch there from Muntz. So that will be the third out. And he will get out of the inning without giving up any runs. And no hits either, as there are no errors that inning, as we will head to the bottom of the second with the Amsterdam Mohawks down 3-2 to the Glens Falls Dragons. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Richie Nitsa steps in to lead off the bottom of the second, as that one misses outside from Behringer. It's 1-0. It will be Nitsa, Rhodes, and Antico in this inning, as that one is grounded down to the third baseman. Hernandez sits back on it and gets a throw over for the first out. Ben Rhodes will step to the plate. Rhodes so far this season is hitting .273, 15 for 55, 7 runs scored, 4 doubles, has 9 RBIs and 13 walks, including a couple of heroic hits here at Shuttleworth Park. That one misses outside, and it is 1-0. The 1-0 now misses inside, and it will be 2-0 here. Rhodes the lefty, as the Mohawks have now 3 lefties in the lineup, as that one misses high, and it will be 3-0 here. But the lefty Ludwig walked. Lefty Peralta hit into a fielder's choice, as that one is in there for a strike. It's now 3-1. And the 3-1, a broken bat, ground out to shortstop, as Kondo throws that one over to get Rhodes. That one hit off of his bat handle. You could hear it break on contact. And that will bring up Mike Antico, the leadoff hitter. Antico is 1 for 1 so far. He singled and scored in the first. First pitch from Behringer is slapped by him back up the middle. Ranging over is the shortstop, Kondo. He can't make the throw, and that will be an infield single for Mike Antico, who now has 2 singles in 2 innings. And that will bring up Cole Barr, the third baseman out of Indiana. Cole so far is 1 for 1 as well. He singled in the first and came around to score on a sacrifice fly by Joe Genord. First pitch into Barr is inside, 1-0. The Indiana Hoosier has become a mainstay at third after Toby Welk had to leave because of injury, as that off-speed pitch catches the outside corner, evens count 1-1. As Barr is hitting .264, 14 for 53. Check of Antico at first, but he gets back in safely. Antico has 5 official stolen bases on the year and is certainly not afraid to steal. As he is going, that one is inside the Barr. Throw down from Viglica is into center field, but staying put is Antico, so he will have his 6th stolen base of the year. As it will now be 2-1 here to Cole Barr at the plate with 2 outs. Mohawks down 3-2, with Antico representing the tying run. As that pitch misses outside, it's now 3-1 to Barr. On deck, if Cole can keep it going, is Michael Ludwig. Behringer sets the 3-1. Is in there for a called strike. Good off-speed pitch. Drops in, and it makes the count full. The 3-2 is inside, and Cole Barr is on with the walk here. And there will be runners on first and second with Michael Ludwig striding to the plate. Ludwig walked in his first at-bat, but was stranded at third last inning. The Wake Forest Demon Deacon waits the first pitch from Behringer. That one will be slapped to the left side. Phoenix Hernandez snags it, steps on third to retire the side. So Behringer allows 2 base runners on 1 hit, but does not allow them to score as we will head to the 3rd inning here at Shuttleworth Park with the Dragons up 3-2. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Anthony Viglica steps in to face Muntz to lead off the top of the 3rd. Dragons up 3-2. That one is lined into left field for a base hit. Cutting it off is Jake Hammond who will get it back in. So Viglica will be on with the first pitch single. Viglica had walked and scored on an error in the 1st as he is on once again. He'll bring up Phoenix Hernandez. The 3rd baseman singled in the 1st. Had an RBI on that single and also came around to score on an error. As that one is low for a ball, it's 1-0. As Muntz will look to bounce back here. A check of the runner at first, but Viglica isn't going. He's not really known for his running ability, more of his power. As Viglica has no stolen bases, 3 caught stealing, however, as that one will be flown out to center as Mike Antico sails under it to make the catch for the first out. That will bring up the left-handed hitting Brian Hart. Hart will be headed to Marist in the fall, as he is a Saratoga Springs native. And the first pitch in for Muntz misses for a ball, 1-0. Muntz on the mound is already at 50 pitches. And that bunt is dropped down by Hart. Coming in is the 3rd baseman, Barr, to make the bounce throw to first. But Richie Barella makes a great snag of it. It will move the runner Viglica over to second, but now there are 2 outs. As it looked like it might have been a gimme bunt with Cole Barr back that far, but he's able to charge in and make the throw on target, or at least enough so that way Barella can handle it. And we now have 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd. Shane Muntz checks and deals. That one misses low into Andrew Stanley, who is 0 for 1 today. He popped out in the first. I was talking about in his at-bat how he went to IMG Academy this past year and has since come up here for his summer ball before heading to the University of Arkansas in the fall. That one misses inside. It's now 2-0. But Stanley stands at, I believe, 5'9", 175, so he's not a large guy, but he does play catcher and does have a bit of an arm behind the plate, too. And has been able to step in here for the Dragons a lot of times. That one is in there for a called strike, and it's now 2-1. We now have our scoreboard working, so there's something. Glika leads away from second as Muntz gets his sign. Sets and deals. That one will be fouled off. It's now 2-2 to Stanley. On deck, if Stanley can keep it going, is Justin Rouse.
Advance is time for the Mohawk seat cushion toss. If you want a seat cushion toss your way, you gotta make some
Muntz grabs some dirt. Looks to get back into it, trying to put back-to-back scoreless innings together. And the 2-2 is high and inside, so it'll now be 3-2 here. As we have a thunderstick toss coming through. As that one is fouled back, and Stanley stays alive. But he mentioned in that featured article put out by the Post-Star, I would definitely say give it a read if you get a chance. You can probably find it right on poststar.com. But in the article, Stanley talks about being able to learn from all these guys because he is only 18 and also in the same position as Brian Hart, who's headed to Marist in the fall. Hart grounded out as the previous batter, trying to bunt his way on. As dancing away from second was Viglica. That one is ripped too short. Elvis Peralta knocks it down, but he can't snag it. And reaching base safely will be Andrew Stanley. And that'll bring up Justin Rouse here with runners on first and third and 2 out.
The second baseman from Illinois University, Justin Rouse.
He's unbiased. Is it a single or an error?
I'm going to say an error. You think that's an error? I'm going to call it. I'm going to text that. As we're trying to determine whether or not we think that was a single or an error. That one misses high and inside here to Rouse, who is 0 for 1 so far today. The ball kind of jumped up on Elvis Peralta, but he was right in front of it, so. As that one now misses away inside, almost hits Rouse. It's 2-0. As Richie Barella comes in to give Shane Muntz some words of encouragement. Shane Muntz can be quite intimidating on the mound, but I think that sometimes he gets to himself when he gives up a hit or has a bad batter where he gives up a walk or something like that, and tends to take that anger out in his pitches and sometimes lose the strike zone. As that one catches the outside corner, it's now 2-1. So whatever Richie Barella told him worked. As Muntz sets and delivers. That one is also on the outside corner, so he evens count 2-2 as he looks to get out of this inning. Here, top of the third, Mohawks down 3-2 to the Glens Falls Dragons. 2 outs, runners on first and third. The 2-2 from Muntz to Rouse is high for a ball, and it'll be 3-2. No breeze here, as half of the diamond is covered by shade, the infield half, in case you couldn't see or were wondering. And the 3-2 is on the outside corner for a called strike 3. And Rouse is punched out for the third out.
2.5. So remain Dragons 3, Mohawks 2.
As that will be the third out. So the Dragons get runners on first and third, but they can't capitalize as we will head to the bottom of the third with the Mohawks down 3-2. You're listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. First pitch into Richie Burrell is a ball. 1-0. As that one is looped into right center, falling fast as that will drop and hit the wall. As Richie Burrell cruises into second, sliding in safely with a leadoff double here. He was 1 for 1 coming into the at-bat. So he now has himself a single and double on the day. And it will bring up Joe Genord, as Joe now has a chance to break the Mohawks' all-time RBI record, as he sits at 63 right now, a tie with Ed Charlton. That pitch misses outside, and it's 1-0. Joe so far today hit a sacrifice fly, getting his 63rd career RBI with the Mohawks. That one is grounded down the left field line. Evens count 1-1. Genord will step back in. Behringer still throwing here for the Dragons, having given up 2 runs in the first. That one is fouled back hard by Genord and is now 1-2. And the 1-2 misses outside, and it's now 2-2. Manager sets now. Checks Burrell at second. The 2-2 from Genord is ripped down to third, snagged by the third baseman Hernandez. Throws on to first for the first out of the inning. So Genord will not get that 64th RBI in that at bat, as that brings up Elvis Peralta Jr. As I think we've determined that right now Elvis is getting an error for the play off the bat of Andrew Stanley in the top half of the inning, but it did not score anyone, so at least that error does not mean anything different of an outcome as that one fouled back. Excuse me. It'll be 0-1 here to Elvis Peralta, who is 0 for 1 so far today. He hit into a fielder's choice in the first. And the 0-1 is outside for a ball, leaves count at 1-1. And the 1-1 here to Elvis Peralta is lifted into right center, and it will drop in for a base hit and get past both outfielders. Oh, it was cut off by the center fielder, Cobb, but sliding in safely with an RBI double is Elvis Peralta Jr. Richie Broly comes in to score, and the Mohawks have tied it at 3. As that is Elvis Peralta Jr.'s 7th double of the year, increases his team lead, and it will also be his 12th RBI of the year for the Mohawks, as that will bring up Jake Hammond. Hammond so far is 0 for 1 today. He grounded out to second base in the first. As that one is fouled out of play. Ooh, hits a tree out in the woods beyond Crescent Avenue. It'll be 0-1 here to Hammond. And that pitch is inside for a ball, and it will now be 2-1. Behringer checks Peralta at second, as that one was really inside to Hammond, and it will now be 3-1. Or excuse me, it should be 2-1, I believe. Peralta getting a nice lead from second. That pitch is low, and it'll now be 3-1. As it's a lot harder. We've had umpires that have delayed calls here, but this umpire behind home plate tonight is quite delayed. As that one will be slapped to the shortstop, Kondo, who steps and delivers for the second out of the inning. Getting to third is Elvis Peralta on the ground out. As that'll bring up Richie Nitza. Richie out of Florida Atlantic is 0 for 1 so far tonight, but he came into the game hitting .306, 15 for 49. He has 12 runs scored, has walked only twice, so he's been quite aggressive at the plate. He has 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. He'll be 1-0 here after that pitch misses low. The 1-0 here from Behringer. Curveball catches the inside corner for a called strike. Evens count 1-1. As the Mohawks have tied it up 3-3 here in the inning, with still only 1 out. They have a runner on third, as that one is fouled off of Richie Nitza's foot, and it's 1-2. And excuse me, there are 2 outs. As our scoreboard is now frozen once again, the Goblins woke up. As I mentioned, the sun is quickly fading, and that one will be slapped. It bounced first and then went right to the first baseman, who throws it over Behringer, and he fell as he was trying to get the base, and Richie Nitza will be on after that error as Elvis Peralta comes in to score, and the Mohawks are up 4-3. As I would probably put that as an E3 on the throw. The toss over from the first baseman. He had to wait for that ball to come down, but he still had time to get the out. Behringer seemed like he was getting over there. But either way, standing on first base is Richie Nitza. And Ben Rhodes is up to the plate here. He squares around a bump but pulls it back. It would be odd for him to be bunting here, as there are 2 outs in the inning already. Maybe just trying to see if he can get the infield moving. Rhodes so far today also grounded out 0 for 1. That one, it bounces a couple of times in front of the plate. Almost has Richie Neitza dancing out from beyond first, but he slides in just safely. It's 2-0 now to Rhodes. And the 2-0 is popped off of the end of the bat, snagged by the shortstop Kondo, thrown on to first to retire the side. But not before the Mohawks tied up and take the lead on an RBI double by Elvis Peralta and a throwing error that allows Peralta then to come in and score, as the Mohawks will head to the fourth inning up 4-3. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Nate Cobb will step in to lead off the top of the fourth. That one is in there for a called strike, 0-1. Cobb so far today is 0 for 1. He grounded out to shortstop in the second. Muntz still on the mound for the Mohawks as that one is lined right out to center field. Mike Antico makes a sliding catch for the first out. Nice snag by him. As that'll bring him to the top of the order in Dan Ryan with 1 out. Ryan so far is 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat, but was stranded at third. Muntz standing at a towering 6'4" on the mound is always, as that one misses high. When you first see him, you expect him to gun you away with 105, but he still does have a pretty hard fastball as that one is popped up in foul territory. Richie Barella settles under it and will snag it for the second out. But a lot of his best outs are hits just like that, where the pitch moves enough where batters just can't get good wood on it. And he gets people to dribble out to the infield or pop the ball up and make it a non-productive out. And that will bring up Nick Kondo, the shortstop out of UAlbany. First pitch into him misses low and inside, 1-0. Muntz has not given up a run since the first inning, but he struggled in each of the innings as that one is in there for a called strike. Even it's kind of 1-1. And his struggles seem to come after the first couple of batters, it seems like. He gave up a leadoff single in the last inning, but was able to settle down. That one's grounded into the hole at short. Big throw from Elvis Peralta Jr. Will get the out at first. That was a very impressive throw from Elvis Peralta, as Muntz now has on cue his first 1-2-3 inning of the day. As we will head to the bottom of the fourth, you are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network with the Mohawks up 4-3 over the Glens Falls Dragons here on YouTube Live. Mike Antico will lead off the bottom of the fourth, and he swings and misses through that one. It's 0-1. Antico so far today is 2 for 2. He's singled in both of his at-bats, as that one is in there for a called strike. He's quickly behind 0-2. He also scored in the first inning. The 0-2 here from Behringer is slapped to the left side, fielded by the third baseman, Phoenix Hernandez, thrown on to first. And that will retire Mike Antico for the first time today. As I'll bring up Cole Barr out of Indiana. Cole Barr is 1 for 1 so far. He singled in the first and also came around to score on an E9. Or excuse me, he scored as that one is in there for a strike. It's 0-1 on a sacrifice fly by Joe Genord. That one was to tie the all-time RBI record. But that ball is ripped down the left field line and will go into the corner. Picked up by the left fielder, Brian Hart, but Barr is in standing at second with a one-out double, as that is his second hit of the day. Bring up Michael Ludwig. Ludwig so far is 0 for 1. He walked in the first but was stranded, and he grounded out to end the second. First pitch into Ludwig is a ball outside. It's 1-0. Mike Ludwig also tonight is the Recovery Sports hitman, so that means if he does get a hit, everyone in attendance will get a coupon from Recovery Sports Grill on Route 30 in Amsterdam. His off-speed pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. Cole Barr at second here. 1 out. Mohawks already up 4-3. That one will be grounded back up the middle, snagged by the shortstop Kondo. Throws on to first to get the out. Moving over to third is Barr. As that 6-3 fielder's choice will be the second out. And Richie Barella will step up to the plate. He is also 2 for 2 today. He has a single and a double. That single in the first was an RBI single, and then in the third, he doubled and scored, as that one will be fouled off, and it'll be 0-1. Richie has another RBI chance here with Barr on third. Also, don't forget about the Browns Ford Grand Slam car giveaway, as if the Mohawks get another chance to hit a Grand Slam, I'll remind you of it before the at-bat, as that one is grounded to shortstop, as Kondo throws on to first to retire the side. That's the first time Richie Barella was retired today, and it will be the third out. So the Mohawks get a double and get Cole Barr to third, but they cannot capitalize, as we will head to the fifth with Amsterdam still up 4-3. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Josh Arndt will lead off the top of the 5th here for the Dragons. Arndt so far today is 0 for 1. He walked and scored in the first as that one is taken for a called strike 0-1. Shane Muntz is still out there to start the 5th as he had his first 1-2-3 inning of the day last inning. And that one is on the outside corner once again for a strike, and it's quickly 0-2. Arndt out of Cornell University has been a mainstay in the lineup for the Dragons, but has not always hit like it, as his batting average is .232, 19 for 82 so far this season. As Muntz stepped off and will now get a new sign. The 0-2 is cut on, and that was swung at. They're saying it bounces away from Joe Genord. He has to make a jump throw to first as Richie Barella has good footwork around the bag, gets the out, and that strikeout swinging throw down to first is the first out. That'll bring up Anthony Viglica out of LIU Post. Viglica's behind the plate tonight for the Dragons and is 1 for 1 today with a single and a walk. He actually scored in the first inning as the out-speed pitch misses inside. It's 1-0. As Muntz waits for Viglica to set, deals the 1-0. That one misses away. It's now 2-0. As Viglica has gotten a couple of good at-bats here with good counts as Muntz has fallen behind him. That one catches the outside corner, makes it 2-1. And the 2-1 will be grounded down the line and will make the count 2-2. If Viglica can keep the inning going, it would be Phoenix Hernandez out on deck. Well, it's Phoenix Hernandez out on deck. There's actually only one out as Muntz gets a new ball. Muntz is now up to 80 pitches, so unless he's able to quickly retire the next two batters, I would expect this to be his last inning, as this is his only this is actually his first start for the Mohawks this season, as it is now 3-2 to Viglica. The returner for the Dragons has struggled since coming back, but has had his season interrupted by a couple of things, as that one is fouled back. It looked like it was going to sneak through at the top of where the netting meets the grandstand, but it did not, luckily. That can sometimes be dangerous if you've seen Shuttleworth Park here. It can slide through a couple of the holes and come in and hit right where the stands are. And as a fan, you don't really expect that. You have a net in front of you, as that one is fouled back out of play. And Viglica is doing a good job of fighting pitches off here and trying to get Muntz out of the game, as they struck for 3 quickly in the first, but that was also on an error by Michael Ludwig in right, as he ended up misplaying a ball that ended up rolling past him. And the 3-2 here for Muntz is caught and missed by Viglica, so that will be the second out. And it will bring up Phoenix Hernandez, as that is Muntz's 6th strikeout of the day, which gives him, if I find the correct stat, that is his 10th of the year. So Muntz piling up the Ks today in his first start as a Mohawk. First pitch into Hernandez, hits him right in the back, and he trots down to first, as Muntz, I think it looks like he's telling him that's on me. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, as luckily Phoenix Hernandez takes it like an adult, trots down to first, gets his base. And that puts Hernandez on base for the second time today. That'll bring up Brian Hart, who will attend Marist College in the fall. He's 1 for 2 so far today. Single, but was stranded in the first. As that ball misses low, and it's 1-0. Hernandez is a threat to steal. At first, his numbers on the season on the base paths, he's 3 for 5. And the 1-0 into Hart is flown out to shallow center. Mike Antico will settle under as everything is in the shade now. And that will retire the side. So Shane Muntz, has, after giving up 3 in the first, has settled down to throw 5 innings of 3-run ball as we will head to the bottom of the 5th inning with the Mohawks up 4-3. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Joe Genord steps up to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. He currently sits, as that one is fouled back, Behringer still out on the mound. He currently sits with 63 career RBIs with the Mohawks. And the only way he's going to become the all-time leader and break the tie with Ed Charlton is with a home run. That one's lifted into right. Back is the right fielder, but right at the wall is Dan Ryan to make the catch for the first out, as Joe Genor gave it a little bit of a ride, but even with the short porch and right, can't get it to go, as that is the first out. As that brings up Elvis Peralta Jr. Elvis so far today is 1 for 2. He hit into a fielder's choice in the first and hit a double in the third that scored Cole Barr to tie the game, as that foul ball reaches the street and left, as it'll be 0-1.
Is none other than Sandy Scott. Sandy Scott, let's wish you the best of luck, Sandy.
As Peralta steps back in. So he had an RBI double and also came around to score in that same inning on an error, as Peralta now drops down to bunt, which he bunts it right back to the pitcher Behringer, who fields it cleanly and throws on to first for the second out. That'll bring up Jake Hammond. Jake so far today is 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice and has cooled off since his start with the Mohawks, as it's dropped him a little bit in the lineup. He was hitting around the 2-hole at points, as that curveball missed, and it's 1-0. And I'm sure he'd love to bounce back. When you look at him, and he seems like quite the prototype ball player, as that one is lifted into left, and it will clear the wall as Jake Hammond has hit a home run. As right on cue, he tries to snap out of it, and unfortunately it wasn't with the bases loaded, so it doesn't win a lucky contestant a new car, but the home run by Jake Hammond does extend the Mohawks lead to 5-3.
Insurance distance markers by a lot.
As that'll bring up Richie Nitza. Richie so far today is 0 for 2. He reached on an error in his last at-bat, which allowed Elvis Peralta Jr. to score. First pitch into Nitza is a curveball for a strike, 0-1. And the 0-1 to Nitza bounces in. Ian's kind of 1-1. Behringer looked like he was upset with the mound as if he slipped off it. And the 1-1 misses away as Nitza is ahead in the count now, 2-1. That was Jake Hammond's first home run as a Mohawk, his 8th RBI of the year. That one is fouled back and out of play, and it is now still 1-2. And the 1-2 is ripped back up the middle by Nitza, and that'll be a base hit. So he will be on base for the second time tonight, first with a hit. As we now have a check of Nitza. At first, it looked like his knee was hurting him running. They had mentioned that this was an issue that had been reoccurring. So they'll check on him, our trainer Carla, and the rest of the Mohawks pitching staff, or coaching staff. As while that is happening, we also have, and it looks like Nitza will stay in the game. He's okay. Says he's all good. As everyone will retreat back to their spots. He'll bring up Ben Rhodes out of Herkimer College, who is 0 for 2 so far today. He's grounded out to shortstop twice. First pitch into Rhodes goes behind him. He dips in to miss that one. And it's 1-0. The 1-0 here from Behringer misses away, and now it's 2-0 here to Rhodes, who started off his last at-bat 2-0 as well. And the 2-0 is in there for a called strike, as it seemed a little high, but Ben Rhodes is a tall individual, so his strike zone is bigger than most. And the 2-1 is a ground ball to first. It will slap foul before it gets to the first baseman Art. Evens at 2-2. And the 2-2 here to Rhodes is in there for a called strike 3, as Vakalika already knew it coming in, as that will sit down Rhodes with the third out, but not before the Mohawks extend their lead on a solo home run by Jake Hammond, which puts the Mohawks up 5-3. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Andrew Stanley, the Searcy, Arkansas native, will lead off the top of the 6th inning. As it looks like Shane Muntz is back out to pitch the 6th, as I did not think I would see that today. But there's a first for everything, as that one is fouled back. It'll be 0-1 here to Stanley, who so far today is 0 for 2. He has popped out and reached on an error. And the 0-1 misses high and inside, and they say that Stanley went around, so it'll be 0-2. Due up in this inning will be Stanley, Rouse, and Cobb, as that one is cut on and missed, as it was dropped by Genord, who almost airmails Richie Barella, but Barella hops up and saves him to snag the first out. And it'll bring up Justin Rouse, the second baseman out of Bellarmine College. Rouse so far today has struck out twice. He's 0 for 2. First pitch is taken for a ball, 1-0. As Muntz is working with Aid, I believe he just threw his 91st pitch, as that one misses upstairs. So now it's 2-0. We have now action in the Mohawks bullpen. As Rouse steps back in for the 2-0, we are now using lights as the sun is all but set. That one is flown out to right. Reaching back is Michael Ludwig, and will settle back to make the catch for the second out. That will bring up the 9-hitter in Nate Cobb.
The center fielder from the Mohawks, Nate Cobb.
Cobb also is 0 for 2 so far today, so the bottom three in the lineup have proven to be in the position that they should be, as they have yet to get a hit combined. As that one, Cobb tries to bunt his way on, but misses it. It will be 0-1. I was just reminded also in our last game at Shuttleworth Park against the Glens Falls Dragons, Nate Cobb actually had a golden sombrero, 4 strikeouts. So that one is fouled back and hit the facing of the grandstand. It'll quickly be 0-2 here on Cobb. And Muntz working quickly. The 0-2 will be slapped to second. Richie Nitza charges on it, throws it on to first. And Muntz has his second 1-2-3 inning of the day and has 6 innings of 3-run ball. As we will head to the bottom of the 6th with the Amsterdam Mohawks up 5-3. You're listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Kyle Cutler is in to pitch for the Glens Falls Dragons. He's an East Hampton, Connecticut native. Excuse me, I cannot talk today, as he is also from Johnson and Wales College in Rhode Island, a sophomore there. A righty sidearm pitcher whose numbers so far on the year, this will be his 6th appearance. He's started one game, thrown 10 and 2/3 innings, given up 15 hits and 5 runs. They're all earned. Walked 2 and struck out 13. Good ratio there, as he's 1-1 with a 4.21 ERA and has given up 4 doubles as Mike Antico steps up to the plate to lead off the bottom of the 6th. That one misses inside, and it's 1-0. And in case you forgot, there is still the Browns Ford Grand Slam car giveaway, so if the Mohawks are able to get the bases loaded this inning, we'll see if it can be done, as that one misses outside to 2-0, as Antico is certainly one of the guys that you want up there to get some base runners on early on. He, so far today, is 2 for 3, as that one misses, and it's 3-0. Antico also scored in the first inning. That pitch is in there for a called strike, and it's 3-1 now from Cutler. I was talking to Mike earlier in the game, and he seemed just not happy with how he had been hitting the past couple of days. That one is kind of missed, and it's 3-2. I think he feels that he should have more hits, and based off of the numbers they had this past season at St. John's in the Big East. And that 3-2 is fouled away, so Antico, after getting ahead in the count, stays alive. As we still have a good-sized crowd here at Shuttleworth Park, with the 3-2 from Cutler outside for a ball, so Antico is on for the 3rd time today. Now lead off the top of the 6th, as Cole Barr will now step up to the plate. Cole Barr so far today is 2 for 2. He singled in the first and came around to score. He walked in the second, and he hit a double in the 4th. As Antico is always a threat to steal at first. That one's ripped down the line and almost was going down the left field line for a base hit, but it went just foul. And it'll be 0-1. As Cole Barr gets his signs from Coach Keith Griffin at 3rd. Check of the runner, Antico at first, as he steps back in safely. As the righty Cutler has a hitch in his throw, at least when there's nobody on base. So we'll have to see how his delivery is with people on base. And it's a little quicker, a little more of a sidestep. Vaglika fakes the throw back down to first, but he does not try the pickoff attempt. And it'll be 1-1 here. Barr was squaring around to bump, but pulled that back. As with Barr not having gotten out yet, I would say just let him swing the bat. In the 1-1, he cuts and misses at that off-speed pitch, and it will be now 1-2 to the Indiana Hoosier, with Michael Ludwig out on deck. As Barr gets some new signs. Mohawks would love some insurance runs in this inning, as I'm sure they'll have to go to their bullpen next inning, as that pitch is in there for a called strike 3. So Cole Barr will be retired for the first time today for the first out. As that'll bring up Michael Ludwig, who is 0 for 2 so far today. He grounded out twice and walked in the first, but was stranded. Ludwig out of Wake Forest has been a top 5 hitter for the Mohawks this year. As Antico was going on that one, pitch was kind of pitched out by Vaglika and called safe as Antico, so he has his 2nd stolen base of the day. And it looks like Cameron Curler comes out to argue. as he's not sure how that throw didn't get him. It looked like the throw had at least beat him, but I think he's trying to see if the get an explanation on maybe the tag missed him or something along those lines. That is Mike Antico's, if I can get the number here, that's his 7th stolen base of the year. As Michael Ludwig at the plate is still hitting .286 with the Mohawks, 22 for 77, 11 runs scored, and 16 RBIs to go with 10 walks, as Cameron Curler seems to have gotten his best explanation. As that pitch misses outside of Ludwig, it's 1-0. Excuse me, 2-0. Cutler checks in Tico at second. That off-speed pitch is in there for a called strike. It's now 2-1. And the 2-1 is high for a ball, and it's now 3-1 to Ludwig. Out on deck is Richie Barella. As that pitch is in there for a called strike. It looked like Ludwig would be on with a walk, but the late call on the curveball makes it a full count. His 3-2 is in the dirt, so the Mohawks will have runners on first and second here with 1 out. And Richie Barella is stepping up to the plate. Richie Barella so far is 2 for 3. He singled in the first, scoring Mike Antico, and hit a double and came around to score in the third, and then he also grounded out in his last at-bat in the fourth. Also just got a stat in that Mike Antico standing on second base right now in 59 affected at-bats with the Mohawks. As that one misses inside, it's 1-0 here to Barella. In 59 at-bats with the Mohawks, Mike Antico has reached base 30 times, which is a .508 on-base percentage. Which is certainly a very high clip, as that curveball is called a strike. Eden's got 1-1. Running off of that overthrow is Antico. That was a terrible decision, as he's thrown out at third for the second out. As I'm not sure what he was trying to do there. So that'll be a 4-5 put out. For the second out, so Michael Ludwig still stands on first base here with 2 outs, and Richie Barella at the plate here in the bottom of the 6th. Mohawks up 5-3. That pitch is flown into deep center, but settling under is the center fielder Cobb, who will make the catch and retire the side. So the Mohawks get 2 runners on base, but can't do anything with them, as we will head to the 7th inning here at Shuttleworth Park with the Mohawks up 5-3. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Dan Ryan, the leadoff hitter for the Dragons, will lead off the top of the 7th inning here at Shuttleworth. Dragons down 5-3 to the Mohawks, as that one is in there for a called strike from Dale Stanovich, who is on the pitch for Amsterdam, the lefty out of Marshall University, and he is also an Amsterdam, New York native. As he steps off and will reset. Stanovich's numbers so far this season, this was his 8th appearance. He's thrown 8 1/3 innings, giving up 7 hits and 6 runs. 4 of those runs are earned. Down misses low and inside, and it's 1-1. He has walked 7 and struck out 12. He's 0-0 with a 4.32 ERA. As he takes over for Shane Muntz, who threw 6 innings of 3-run ball. That one is lifted down the right field line, but will hook foul over the bullpen. It'll be 1-2 here to Ryan. Muntz's final line will be 6 innings pitched, and he gave up only 4 hits and 3 runs. Only one of those runs, though, were earned. He walked 3, walked 4, hit 1 batter, and struck out 7. As Stanovich still waits, sets, goes into his motion and delivers the 1-2. That one's ripped down the left field line, and that will hook foul. As Ryan seems to be all over the ball, but cannot straighten it out. As Joe Janora goes out to talk with his pitcher, trying to get on the same page here. Ryan so far today is 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch in the 2nd but was stranded. That one is swung on and just fouled off by Ryan. And it will stay 1-2. It'll be Ryan, Kondo, and Arndt due up this inning. The 1-2 from Stanovich is in the dirt, and it'll be 2-2. And the 2-2 from Stanovich is fouled off as Ryan stays alive. Mohawks defense has stayed the same this entire game, as their bench isn't too long, as I don't know if they have Matt Padre. I don't think they have Matt Padre available today. I actually didn't see him in the ballpark at all. So that one is grounded down to third, fielded by Cole Barr on to first, and that will retire Ryan with the first out. And Chris Lanzilli has also gone home, the left fielder out of Wake Forest. So they are short-handed when it comes to just hitters to step in. As Nick Kondo steps up to the plate. Kondo so far today is 0 for 2 as well. He walked in the 2nd. First pitch into him misses high and away. It's 1-0. Stanovich is certainly is a contrast from what Shane Muntz is physically. Zowen misses low, and it's 2-0. Stanovich is listed at 5'11", 175, where Muntz was, the starter, was listed at 6'4", 225. So just 5 inches and 50 pounds later, as that one misses low, and it's now 3-0. But either way, Stanovich will look to have the same type of result that Muntz had in his last few innings. As that one misses high and outside, so that allows Kondo to reach base with 1 out. That walk is the 5th by Mohawks pitching. It will bring up Josh Arndt. Arndt so far today is 0 for 2 as well. He struck out twice, and he walked in the first but came around to score. As Stanovich will now work out the stretch. The first pitch into Arndt is a strike, 0-1. In the top of the 7th here at Shuttleworth Park, Mohawks up 5-3. We have one out, runner on first here for the Dragons as that off-speed pitch catches the outside corner, and it will be 0-2. Nice curveball there from Stanovich. As the Mohawks have scored their runs on an RBI single by Richie Barella and a sac fly by Joe Jordan in the first, as well as an RBI double by Elvis Peralta Jr., who came around to score on an error, and then a solo home run by Jake Hammond in the 5th inning. That one is fouled on the left field line, out of play. It'll still be 0-2. Out on deck is Anthony Viglica out of LIU Post. For the Mohawks infield, halfway in at double play depth. That one is popped off right into the second base area as Elvis Peralta Jr. snags it sideways and jokes around for a bit as if he was going to drop it to try and get the double play. But, of course, the infield fly rule is called, and that is the second out. As Anthony Viglica steps to the plate, Viglica so far today is 1 for 2. He walked and came around to score in the first, singled in the third, and struck out in the 5th. As Coach Keith Griffin comes out to talk with Dale Stanovich, he might be making a pitching change, as Stanovich is a lefty and Viglica is a righty at the plate. And we'll see what he says here. It looks like he'll leave Stanovich in there. They'll just talk over how he wants him to pitch to him. Mohawks have scored their 5 runs on 7 hits, while the Dragons have scored 3 runs on 5 hits. Which none of them, unfortunately, have been a grand slam for the people in the running to win a car if the Mohawks hit a grand slam this game, as they still have at least 2 hitting innings for the Mohawks to go in the 7th and 8th. The Mohawks would have to give up the lead in order to bat in the 9th, which, of course, I'm sure they do not want to do, trying to hold on and win this game and stay in first place. As they got the runner held up. Nice snag by Richie Barella at first, and that will be the last out of the inning, as the runner, Nick Kondo, is caught for the 3rd out, as we will head to the bottom of the 7th. We'll stretch here at Shuttleworth Park. Mohawks up 5-3. You're listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Joe Genord steps up to lead off the bottom of the 7th. Okay, I thought you were like, okay, it's 5 And that one is ripped down to 3rd, real scorcher, as Phoenix Hernandez throws that on to 1st. To retire Genord for the first out of the inning. I didn't even get time to talk about how he could have gotten the tie-breaking RBI there, but unfortunately he does not. As that ground up to 3rd leaves him 1 for 4 so far today, as Elvis Peralta Jr. will step up to the plate. Elvis so far today is 1 for 3. He hit an RBI double in the 3rd and came around to score on an error. First pitch into the shortstop, misses inside. It is 1-0. Staying out to pitch is Kyle Cutler for the Dragons. Cutler last inning gave up 2 walks, but nothing else, as that one is kind of missed. It's 1-1. Due up behind Peralta is Jake Hammond on deck, who hit a solo home run in his last at-bat in the 5th. That one misses high, and it's now 2-1 to Peralta. There is still a chance that the Mohawks can hit that grand slam to get someone in a new car from Browns Ford, but it's becoming more and more fleeting. That one is ripped down the right field line, but will hook out, play foul. Hits in the kids area, it looks like, down the right field line. It'll be 2-2 to Peralta. Elvis in this game has extended his doubles lead on the team to 7. He has 7 doubles. No one has more than him on the Mohawks. So that one is fouled back and out of play. It's 2-2. And the 2-2 is cut on and fouled back. It hit the umpire, it looked like. So he takes one off the shoulder. He'll stay 2-2. And the 2-2 from Cutler slipped, it seemed like, out of his hand and goes away. It will make the count full. Peralta Jr. today made his first error in the field this season on a ball that was a tough one, as that one is flown deep to left, and that will clear the wall as Elvis Peralta Jr. has hit his 4th home run of the season and has put the Mohawks up 6-3. The shortstop out of Marshall University has definitely heated up since his cold start with Amsterdam, as that puts them up 6-3. Mentioned that is his 4th RBI of the, 4th home run of the year, 12th RBI. And his batting average will shoot up. He came into the game hitting .291, 23 for 79, and he so far today is 2 for 4. So that brings up Jake Hammond, who fouls that one back, and it is 1-1. Jake so far today is 1 for 3 with that solo home run in his last at-bat. As the Mohawks have hit home runs this game, just they haven't been able to do them with the bases loaded. So that one will be ripped down the right field line and will drop in for a base hit, as Jake Hammond is on for his 2nd hit of the day. And because of that home run, the Mohawks scored a run in the Mohawks rally inning, which means that everyone here at Shuttleworth Park gets buy one, get one Coors Light drafts for the remainder of the inning. So we'll see if the Mohawks can make a day of it and get some more insurance runs, as Richie Nitsa steps up to the plate. He's 1 for 3 so far today. He singled in his last at-bat in the 5th. takes that first pitch high and inside for a ball, 1-0. When Richie had ran down to first after hitting that single, they needed to check on his knee. It seemed like it was giving him some issues, but he stayed in the game since and has had no issues in the field. Hammond taking a nice lead away from first. That ball's in the dirt. Delayed steal by Jake Hammond. Saw that the second baseman was not covering, and Hammond will stay there.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen,
As that will be a stolen base.
who wants a t-shirt? Make some noise if you want a Sticker Mule t-shirt.
It'll be 2-0 now to Nitsa. Now the 2-0 here from Nitsa is low and inside. It'll be 3-0 now. As we have another giveaway here at Shuttleworth Park. Always a bunch of hospitality. As Nitsa awaits the pitch from Cutler. Hammond taking a modest lead from second base. The 3-0 is cut on and missed. We'll make it 3-1. And that 3-1 is popped up. First baseman Josh Arndt settles under it. And that will be the second out. That'll bring up the 9-hitter Ben Rhodes, who's 0 for 3 so far tonight. He grounded out twice and struck out in his last at-bat. Jake Hammond on second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Mohawks up 6-3. They've already scored 1 in the inning on an Elvis Peralta home run. That ball misses high and away, and it's 1-0 here to Rhodes. If he can keep it going, the leadoff hitter Mike Antico is out on deck. That off-speed pitch into Ben Rhodes is in there for a strike. It evens count 1-1. And check at the runner at second. That one is almost airmailed as Kondo has to jump for it. But he snags it. Hammond slides back in safely. And the 1-1 is fouled right back by Ben Rhodes, and it will be 1-2. As Amsterdam has taken advantage of a couple of dinks and dunks here and there, as well as a long ball to have a 6-3 lead in this game. And of course, their pitching has done pretty well for them as well, as that one misses high, even it's got 2-2. Shane Muntz, after giving up 3 runs in the first, settled down to throw 6 innings, and Dale Stanovich comes on and pitches a scoreless 7th. So we'll see if Stanovich comes back out for the 8th or 9th. That one misses low, and it's now a full count here to Ben Rhodes with 2 outs. As we'll see if Ben Rhodes can reach base here, if Mike Antico can keep it going and maybe get the bases loaded for a chance to win that free car. That pitch misses high, so Ben Rhodes will be on, and runners will be on first and second here for the Mohawks with 2 outs. That's Ben Rhodes' first time on base tonight, as Mike Antico will step up. Mike Antico so far tonight is 2 for 3. He singled twice. He scored in the first, and he walked in his last at-bat in the 6th, but was caught on a steal attempt, as that one is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. But he was caught on a steal attempt to third base. The ball sailed over the head of Cutler, and I'm not sure why Antico had ran on it, but he just made the decision to, as that off-speed pitch is in there for a called strike, and it's quickly 0-2. As Cutler has thrown a lot of junk at the Mohawks, and it sometimes has worked and sometimes hasn't. That one misses high and away. It'll be 1-2 now to Antico. Mike came into this game hitting just, if I can find it, just 255 at the plate, 14 for 55, but that is actually higher adjusted, and then if you add in the other times that he's reached base, as that one misses just outside. Viglica was upset at that. He wanted that call. He'll be 2-2, but they've realized we did the math, and Mike has reached base 30 times. And that in 60 at-bats, you have an over 500 on-base percentage, as Cutler has the hitch in his motion there. He sometimes has that, as that one misses away. It's now 3-2. I'm not sure why he does that. I feel like it would affect him more than the hitter, as he'd have to change his rhythm every time. And it's not like Hammond at second is really looking to steal here. But the payoff pitch here will be flown out to right center, as the center fielder Cobb gives way to the right fielder Ryan, who puts it away for the final out. So that will end the 7th, as the Mohawks get 1 run in that inning on 2 hits on that home run by Elvis Peralta Jr. And they will head into the 8th inning with a 6-3 lead over the Glens Falls Dragons. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live.
And Anthony Viglica comes to the plate. He is down 0-2 right now to Dale Stanovich, who stays in. This is Justin Cohen just stepping in real quick for Adam. We'll be back very shortly. Anthony Viglica so far is 1 for 1. He has a walk and struck out swinging in his last at-bat in the 5th. He has scored a run, but that was on an error in the 1st after Michael Ludwig booted a ball on right. And that brings the count to 1-2 after a foul ball by Viglica. As mentioned, Dale Stanovich still on the mound after a scoreless first. This is Anthony Viglica's second look at Stanovich after the runner got thrown out. The runner, Nick Kondo, got caught cheating after leaving first a little bit early on a pitch. And the rock of the the Glens Falls lineup. He is, I believe, leading the team in at-bats. On deck, he is also 1 for 1, and Anthony Viglica strikes out swinging.
Thank you there to my intern Justin Cohen for taking over there for me as I had to check on a scoring decision as Anthony is struck out for the first out of the inning. That will bring up the third baseman, Phoenix Hernandez, out of Southern New Hampshire College. That one misses low. It's 1-0. As the Dragons are currently working with just 5 outs now. Stanovich pitching to Hernandez. That one misses high, and it's now 2-0. And the 2-0 is on the outside corner for a called strike, and it'll be 2-1. Hernandez so far today has batted 1 for 2. He singled and came around to score in the first, and he walked in his last at bat. That one is fouled back, evens count at 2-2. Out on deck for the Dragons is Brian Hart, the left fielder. As Stanovich sets and deals. That 2-2 is low, makes count full. As night has fallen in Amsterdam, as the Mohawks look to hold on to their 6-3 lead. As that one misses high, Phoenix Hernandez will be on with a 1-out walk, his 3rd time on base today. And that will bring up Brian Hart, a Saratoga Springs native who will be attending Marist College in the fall. He is 1 for 3 so far today. He singled in the first, as we now have a mound visit from Coach Keith Griffin with Dale Stanovich and Joe Genord out with him. As if you've ever come to Shuttleworth Park, there are certain ways that guys take mound visits as. They kind of take it as an insult, or some take it as they get upset because they know they're not pitching well. But Dale Stanovich just stands with his hands behind his back, listens to what Coach Keith Griffin has to say to him, and then goes from there. And he seems to always do well after getting those mound visits. And, of course, you can only visit the mound once before having to make a pitching change, so he doesn't want to see Coach Keith Griffin again this inning. But it's just those little things that make certain guys good ball players. As Brian Hart steps in, the lefty, batting against the lefty Stanovich. That pitch is just off the plate, and it'll be 1-0, as Stanovich is having a bit of trouble finding the strike zone. As he sets, he starts off staggered before he sets at 90, as that one will be driven out to right center. Ranging back as Michael Ludwig will look up and run it down, or actually he did not run it down. It will clear the wall, and it will be a home run, as Brian Hart hits a home run off of it looked like it was off of the scoreboard, as I couldn't really tell out there, but it will be 6-5 now, still in favor of Amsterdam. As that was Brian Hart's first home run also as a Glens Falls Dragon. He'll bring up Andrew Stanley, who will be attending Arkansas in the fall. As Stanovich tries to bounce back here. First pitch into Stanley is caught and missed, 0-1. Out on deck is Justin Rouse out of Bellarmine College. As that home run gives the Dragons life here, as they're only working with 5 more outs, but now they're only down 1. And that pitch is bounced in. It'll be 1-1 now. Righty in the Mohawks pen working. It looks like Ryan Falls. As Janord had a couple of words there with Dale Stanovich, just trying to settle down the young lefty. As Stanovich sets and deals that one, it's hit off the end of the bat and popped up right to Richie Neitz at second for the second out. Now I'll bring up Justin Rouse, the second baseman. Rouse so far today is 0 for 3. He struck out twice and flew out. As that first pitch is low for a ball, 1-0. As the bottom 3 of the Dragons order has yet to get a hit, including Rouse, as Dalvin is fouled back, and it's now 1-1. With the 9-hitter Nate Cobb out on deck. As Stanovich deals the 1-1. That pitch is in there for a called strike on the outside corner. It'll be 1-2. As the Mohawks now just try to get out of this inning, still up a run. The 1-2 from Stanovich misses low and inside, and it'll be 2-2. As Joe Janord came out awkwardly of his stance to try and snag the ball, now it gets away from him again. To give you some updates so far, Albany had a doubleheader, at least a doubleheader scheduled on the schedule, but now we only have one final of the Dutchman winning, as swinging and missing through that one is Rouse for the third out. So Stanovich gets out of the inning after giving up the 2-run homer to make it 6-5, still in favor of Amsterdam, as we will head to the ninth, or to the bottom of the 8th at Shuttleworth Park. Mohawks beating the Dragons 6-5. You're listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Cole Barr will lead off the bottom of the 8th here. Swings and misses at a pitch from a lefty. It'll be 0-1. I believe that's Brandon Budlong on the pitch for the Dragons. And it is out of St. Rose. That one misses, and it'll be 1-1 now. Do you have the right pitcher? No, it's 11. So do you guys exit out? As that one is in there for a called strike, and it'll be 1-2. And that one is flown out to right. Settling under is the right fielder, Ryan, to make the catch for the first out. That'll bring up Michael Ludwig, the right fielder out of Wake Forest. As 0-1. Ludwig so far is 0 for 2. He's walked twice. As that pitch is in the dirt, and it'll be 1-1. 1-1 is slapped down the left field line, and that'll be a base hit. Phoenix Hernandez reaches out for that one, but can't get it, as Michael Ludwig is in standing with a 1-out double. As Michael Ludwig was also the Recovery Sports Grill hitman, so that means everyone in attendance gets a coupon to the Recovery Sports Grill on Route 30 in Amsterdam. And it will bring up Richie Barella, the cleanup hitter playing first base tonight. Richie out of Manhattan College is 2 for 4 so far tonight. He hit an RBI single in the first. He doubled and came around to score in the third. And he grounded out and flew out in the 4th and 6th, respectively. Ludwig taking a decent lead from second. Budlong delivers in to Barella, and it's outside for a ball, 1-0. As that was a good at-bat there for Ludwig, as he started against the lefty, had a couple of good at-bats. He hadn't had a hit yet, but gets the hit off of the lefty. Ludwig fakes a steal, but goes back as that one misses outside. It's 2-0. As the Mohawks have quite a few guys who are currently heating up, Richie Barella at the plate included, and also Michael Ludwig, if he can get it going after this game, as that one misses inside. Barella has to really skip out of the way to not get hit. And it is 3-0. But other guys, including in the heating up kind of section, are Elvis Peralta Jr., who has a double and a home run tonight, and Mike Antico has been on base 3 times tonight. He's 2 for 4. That one is in there for a called strike, and it's 3-1. Really good pitch there from Budlong. Nice two-seamer. It looked like it was inside of Barella, but it snuck back across the inside corner. And it's now full. Runner on second here, 1 out. Mohawks up 6-3 in the bottom of the 8th. The Dragons will have their 9-1-2 hitters coming up to bat in their last up, since that curveball misses outside and Barella's on with a walk. And the Mohawks have runners on first and second here with 1 out. And Joe Genord coming to the plate. So far today is 0 for 3. He had a sacrifice fly in the first that gave him his 63rd career RBI with the Mohawks. That ties him for first place with Ed Charlton, as that one is lined to second, could be 2. Flip to the shortstop, Kondo on to first, and that will get the Dragons out of the inning, as the 4-6-3 double play erases the guys in scoring position as we will head to the 9th inning with the Mohawks still clinging to a 6-5 lead. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Here for the Mohawks, and they'll try to get this one closed out. McClinsky out of Seton Hall is a Pearl River, New York native freshman for the Pirates. Stepping in for the Dragons, excuse me, is Nate today. On the year has made 7 appearances. This will be his 8th. He's thrown 12 innings. He's 4 hits and 6 walks. Struck out 16. He's 1-0 with an ERA of 0.00 as that one is in there for a called strike. But he unfortunately does not qualify for league ERA leaders, as you have to throw at least back and out. 0-2 now to Nate Cobb. But the Mohawks coming into today, 5 games, and 80% of that is 20. You have to have at least 20 innings. So, probably after tonight, as that one misses, and it'll be 1-2. But both McClinsky and Ryan Falls in the back end of the bullpen have done really well. As the Mohawks have definitely lived by the strikeout, as that one misses just away. Almost got Cobb punched out, but it'll be 2-2. And the 2-2 here is on the outside corner for a called strike 3. This umpire is very excited about punching people out. And that will be the first out of the inning. As I'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Danny Ryan. Ryan so far today is 0 for 3. He was hit by a pitch in the second, but was stranded at third. As their Dragons only need one run, as that one is on the outside corner for a called strike, 0-1. They were down 6-3 going into the 8th, but they got 2 back on a 2-run home run by Brian Hart. The 0-1 is slapped, fouled on the right field line, goes just over the stands there. It'll be 0-2 now to Ryan. Out on deck is the 2-hitter, Nick Kondo, out of UAlbany. And Ryan steps out as he tries to mess with the timing of McGlinskey, who, when he gets in the groove, is certainly hard to get out of it. The 0-2 is a curveball off the plate, and it'll be 1-2. McGlinskey sets, deals to Ryan, who grounds it through the hole between third and short for a base hit, and the tying run is on base. As Nick Kondo will step up to the plate out of UAlbany. He's 0 for 2 so far today. He's walked twice, but has not scored. As he would love to be able to slap an extra base hit here and tie it up for the Dragons, but McGlinskey will try to stop him and get him to ground into maybe a game-ending double play. First pitch into Kondo is swung on and missed, and it's 0-1. The Mohawks playing pretty much straight up. They're a little in on the corners, of course. Janord covering at first. Richie Nitsa has moved a little bit to the left of probably where he would be playing, and he's halfway in along with Elvis Peralta. As McGlinskey steps off, as Kondo had taken his gloves off and has to put them back on. Steps back in. It'll be 0-1. McGlinskey checks the runner at first. And Ryan and deals. That one is fouled back and out of play, and it'll be 0-2. Ryan at first on the season has 10 stolen bases, so he's certainly susceptible to going. He is 10 for 12 in attempts. Kondo is the only guy with more stolen bases on the team with 16 as he's at the plate. The 0-2 here to Kondo is slapped down the right field line, but will hook foul past the bullpen out of play. Mohawks, if they win tonight, will go to 16-10. As Saugerties was losing 4-2 last time I had checked. The Albany Dutchmen swept a doubleheader against Oneonta today, so that puts them, as there's a check of the runner at first, but sliding back in safely is Ryan. That will put Albany still in second place by at 14-11, which puts them now just a game back of where Amsterdam stands right now. If Amsterdam wins, they'll go up a game and a half once again on the Dutchmen. And we'll have to wait to see the result of the Saugerties game. As that curveball is grounded to second, could be 2. Shortstop Peralta to second, it was grounded to short as there were fireworks going off in the out beyond the Chucktatawny Creek. That was not done by the Mohawks, as I'm not sure who's setting them off, but the Mohawks get the second out on the 4-6 put out on the fielder's choice, and the Dragons are down to their final out. As that will bring up the 3-hitter Josh Arndt out of Cornell University. Arndt is 0 for 3. He walked and scored in the first. And the first pitch into him is outside, and it will be 1-0. Jord had to really snap out there. Grab that one, and now, even though there are 2 outs, this may be the one runner on base he would want in Nick Kondo, who has seemed to almost be able to steal at will. He's 16 for 18 on attempted stolen bases. So he waits and will not steal here as that one misses outside. It'll be 2-0. As McClinsky continues to keep an eye on him. And the 2-0 is slapped foul down the left field line. And it'll be 2-1. If Arndt were to keep it going, the 4-hitter Anthony Viglica is out on deck out of LIU Post. As McClinsky takes a walk around the mound and will reset. Nick Kondo at first. Josh Arndt at the plate with Ryan McClinsky pitching to him. Mohawks are up 6-5 here in the top of the 9th. 2 outs. 2-1 pitch. That one is fouled off and goes right to the backstop. And the Dragons are down to their final strike. As Nick Kondo was stealing on the pitch, but now he has to go back as the hit and run was on. As Arndt will be swinging at anything close to stay alive. McClinsky checks Kondo at first and now sets the 2-2. Nope, he will step off. As McClinsky will set once again. Mohawks looking to hang on to this one and tie up the season series with Glens Falls at 4-4. The 2-2 is slapped up the middle for a base hit. Fielding is the center fielder Antico. He keeps Nick Kondo at second. As the Dragons now have a runner in scoring position, the tying run with 2 outs still, and Anthony Viglica coming to the plate. Viglica so far today is 1 for 3. He singled in the third, and he walked in the first and came around to score. As the first pitch from McClinsky is fouled back, right off the facing of the grandstand.
Ouch.
It'll be 0-1. Viglica this season has not hit as well as he did last year for the Dragons, in which he was a PGCBL All-Star. But he can have some late game heroics here for the Dragons, as they've done that before at Shuttleworth. That one misses outside, and it's a ball 1-1. The guy on deck, Phoenix Hernandez, hit a grand slam here in the top of the 7th inning to put the Dragons up on Tuesday night. That gave them a 6-3 win. As Viglica came into this game hitting 191. The 1-1 is outside for a ball, and it'll be 2-1. Viglica does have 5 RBIs on the year to go with 13 walks, as his on-base percentage is much better than what his average shows. The 2-1 is in the dirt, so it'll now be 3-1 here to Viglica. As McGlinty is pacing around the mound, trying to get into a spot where he can reach back and make a pitch here. The 3-1 will be popped in the air. Ranging back is the second baseman, Nitsa, who will give way to Michael Ludwig, who comes in to make the catch. And the ball game is over as the Mohawks hold on to win this one by the score of 6-5, as they will improve to 16-10 and will still be in first place tomorrow, as they will head to Albany to take on the Dutchmen at Sienna Field in a doubleheader. That starts at 3 o'clock, so if you have a chance, try to sneak over there, see one of the 2 games. If not, the next time the Mohawks are at home will be Tuesday. They will play a doubleheader in which they'll resume a postponement game that against the Saugerty Stallions and then play another one. So if you have a chance, bring the family out on Tuesday night here to Shuttleworth Park. As in this one, the Mohawks took advantage of a nice start from Shane Muntz, throws 6 innings of 3-run ball, only 1 earned run given up. Dale Stanovich comes in, gives up the 2-run homer, but holds the lead, and Ryan McGlinty comes in to get the save, as Jake Hammond and Elvis Peralta Jr. both hit solo home runs in the win. Joe Genord gets his 63rd career RBI. That ties Ed Charlton for the most all-time for a Mohawk. So we'll see when Genord gets his next one. That will be put him in first place outright, alone all-time. And we will let you know via Twitter on that, so if people are wondering. But your final score tonight from Shuttleworth Park, the Amsterdam Mohawks 6, the Glens Falls Dragons 5. For everyone here at the Amsterdam Mohawks, this is Adam Gresta saying I bid you a pleasant good evening.